like.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Good evening, everyone. Let's call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Directors, Cities Association of Santa Clara County for November 13th, 2025 at 7:03 p.m. First up is roll call. Shall I? May we please have roll call?
Ann Bybee. Present. Kitty Moore.
Here.
Greg Bozzo.
Here.
Lisa Fliger.
Here.
Kavita Tonka.
George Tyson here for Kavita.
Excellent. Thank you. Matthew Hudes.
Here.
Carmen Montano.
Here.
Ken Torrance.
Here.
Mark Turner.
Here.
Ellen Kamei. Or Emily Ramos. Okay. Ed Lowing.
Here.
Rosemary Kamei.
Here.
Kelly Cox.
Here.
Tina Walia.
Here.
Larry Klein.
Here.
With 14, we have quorum.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you all for weathering or fighting the storm to get here. First up is oral communications. This is a chance for the public to speak on non-agendized items. Are there any members of the public in person wishing to speak? Is there anyone remote?
No one online.
Okay. I will move on to our consent calendar, our consent agenda. We have one item, approve the board meeting minutes of September 11th. Are there any changes? Move to approve.
Second.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on a consent? Anyone remote?
No one remote. I didn't catch who seconded.
Second was
second.
Rosemary. And with everyone in person, you can do a voice vote for this at least.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented was made by Turner, seconded by R. Kamei. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Next up is the president update. Just a few items. First, thank you all for getting here tonight. We're still missing one, but especially after last month where we had to cancel because we couldn't get quorum within the county. It's good to see everybody's faces. Been a little bit of a crazy year to say the least between, fires and the federal government changing on a weekly basis. But thank you all. This is the last official meeting of the year. Next up, of course, is our holiday party. So if you should be receiving within, it didn't go out today yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. By the end of the week, you'll get the invite for a holiday party. As we said, scheduled earlier this year, Sunday, December 7th is our holiday party at the Treehouse Hotel in Sunnyvale. So it's good food. There'll be a tour because it's been newly updated during the reception period. And then we'll be honoring our champion of the year, Josh Becker, who's done a lot of environmental work over the last few years and this year also. There's as a reminder, $75 for council members and city staff, $100 for guests. So all that'll be live. I think the website's already live to do that purchasing those tickets. And please buy your tickets early. We have room to grow if need be, but we're trying to make sure we get a good count at least a week before, but hopefully sooner than that. Any comments, questions on President's update?
Thanks, President Klein. And just to point out that most, if not all, cities will cover the cost of council members to attend this event.
Absolutely. Yeah. So please, so the invite goes out to you and all the council members. Please encourage your city managers to attend. It's a good opportunity to do cross communication like we had the event earlier this year, the summer event, to talk about good governance. And I think that was very well attended. And these platforms, the holiday party especially, gives that opportunity to get together and talk about the year and how things have gone. Any member of the public wishing to speak on this item? Anyone remote?
No one online.
Okay, thank you. Next up is item 3, elections of the 2026 Executive Committee. First, I wanted to bring up, I know several people have asked why this is before item number 5. And, and so item number 5, hopefully everybody's read their packet, is talking about changing the bylaws, including the executive committee. It's ultimately changing the bylaw, the JPA bylaws takes months. It's approving changes with our councils, with our city attorneys. It's doing advocacy. It's all of that. So, and especially when you look at with our current bylaws, this is when we are approving the executive committee as currently defined, and ultimately looking back at 2024, it was a very big lift to get getting staff and council members and everything from a JPA standpoint approved. So what we're doing tonight is conceivably approving the executive committee for 2026 as the current bylaws are. And then, conceivably the next item is talking about changes to the bylaw, or item number 5 is talking about changes to the bylaws in the future. And then that would be taking effect for next year. As a reminder for those that read the packet, we have 6 positions on the executive committee: past president, president, first vice president, second, vice president, LAC chair, secretary, treasurer. 5 positions. And let me explain the process that we'll go through. So we requested interest applications in September. The nominating committee came up with a slate from those pool of applicants. And as a reminder, the current pool of applicants in the packet are past president Larry Klein, president Tina Walia, first vice president J.R. Fruin, Kitty Moore, second vice president LAC chair Elliot Scazolas, Kitty Moore, secretary treasurer Vicky Vinker, Rob Moore, and Kitty Moore. We also have I'll talk about the public comment in just a moment. We'll be taking nominations from the floor, and then each applicant will have 1 minute to state their interest in their position that they've applied for. We'll take public comment. We'll have discussions before each position is voted on. And then for each vote, we'll do a single vote for each position, just for those since we're doing voice votes. We will be randomizing them according to cities. So this is always an issue, that Sunnyvale is always last. So I don't want to always be last. So it's going a randomized voice vote. So we have randomized city names. So Shali will be calling out different cities. So you do have to pay attention. I'll get to questions in just a second. And then from a voting standpoint, we'll be listing off the name of the, if there's more than one person for each position, then we'll be listing off the names. And so that will be the roll call, the roll call for voting. So for at least one of these positions, we have more than 2. So it's like it's a listing off the name of the people that you're voting for. As a reminder, from a quorum standpoint tonight, we need 8, and we still have, so no, we have 14, so we need 7 right now.
8.
No, right.
Eight's a majority.
Right, 8's a majority. So we need an 8. If no one reaches majority, then we have discussion, and we'll do a runoff of the top 2 vote getters. When we voted for executive committee, we'll then take a final motion at the end to certify the new executive board after we've done all the individual votes. Questions?
Yes, I was wondering if we could have PDF page 116 of the packet put on the screen. It shows the historic executive committee rotation chart. And then if you could please repeat the positions and the candidates again.
So from a candidate standpoint, and so we have public comment in front of us. So past president Larry Klein, president Tina Walia, first vice president J.R. Fruin, Kitty Moore, second vice president LAC chair Elliot Scazola, Kitty Moore, secretary treasurer. There's a letter in front of you that Vicky Vinker is, I'm from a summary standpoint, is removing her name from the list. Rob Moore, Kitty Moore, and then a letter of interest from Rosemary Combined.
So who are you removing from that list?
So Vicky Vinker
Oh.
is removing herself from the list.
So she withdrew her, is that what you're saying?
She withdrew her application. So you should have a sheet of paper in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Rosemary added her name to the list. So, and we'll also take nominations from the floor so this isn't the final list, but conceivably there's more.
So may we see?
Yeah.
There? Okay, PDF, it's 116. If that could be zoomed in a little bit so we can read it. So this is the historic executive committee rotation chart, and each city is listed. So you can see if your city has been had an executive committee member since 2016. And there were some cities that haven't. And so I did notice that the city that had the most representation most often had someone on the executive committee is Sunnyvale. Anyway, so if you take a moment and look, you might find that interesting. And I felt as though, by the way, that some individuals were discouraged from putting their name in the hat because of, as you're reading here, this is a letter from our mayor. The current unwritten practice is that basically each year you move up. So, for instance, you'll see Mayor Klein has moved up, and he had a first route through as well. So I don't know what the philosophy is among this body, but there has been unequal representation from the cities.
So, thank you. Is there a question?
Well, how did that come to pass? This rotation.
Sure. So I can talk a little bit about that. The organization's been around for 30 years. There's a lot. There's the, and it's been, I'll say, always understaffed. We always have one executive director. Thankfully we have additional legal representation now, but this is from an organizational standpoint been the kind of de facto standpoint, mainly from there's an institutional knowledge that this group brings. And so that transition has been kind of the standard from the organization. So, and sometimes, you have council members or you have executive committee members that decide that they want to remove themselves from the committee because it's too much additional work from an operational standpoint. Sometimes they don't get reelected, which happens every now and then. But that is, served the organization for many, many years. And from a why isn't more people applying? From an application standpoint, it's usually really a lot of pulling teeth to get people to apply, to add the additional work of the executive committee. And it's that, for at least from my perspective, that's the biggest thing. I'm happy to see, historically we've had a little issue of having some of the South County cities attending this meeting. So I'm very thankful that you're here. But it's that sort of thing, and encouraging them to apply to positions in the future. Okay. Yes.
Yes, and I'll just add to what President Klein has said, Vice Mayor Moore, we're not unique in this approach as well. If you look across the state, other similar organizations have the same pattern where you're part of the executive committee, and based on experience, continuity, those people normally apply for the next step up. It's prevalent among Cal cities, different regional bodies, organizations similar to Cities Association, and it's for the reasons that Larry just stated. So we're not unique in this approach. But to Larry's point, we have an open process every year where we actually encourage people to apply. And then from the applicants, we do an interview process to make sure that the mix that's brought to the executive committee serves the organization well.
Thank you. I have a question for the board council. I'm looking at the letter from Ms. Van Keur. And she says, I recently learned that the new JPA allows only 2 board members to serve on the executive committee. And that was the reason why she withdrew her application. Says the new JPA, is that the JPA that is going to be considered later, or is that the JPA that's in effect now? So is there anything in the current JPA that could prevent her from pursuing that?
So the current JPA sets an executive committee up of 5 members, the president, the first vice president, and at least the president and the first vice president have to be board members. And there have to be a total of 3 board members on the executive committee, and 2 board members. 2 of the executive committee members just need to be city council members or mayors. And so Ms. Finker's concern was 2 individuals are nominated to continue on the executive committee in different roles who are not members of the board. And so if they were elected, she didn't want to displace them. That's my understanding of what she wrote. She was concerned that since she's not on the board, and
And so her concern is about the current JPA, or
yes,
the one that's being
the one that
considered in the
applies.
future?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So the 2 board members would be I was designated from my city to be on the board in the LAC. However, by virtue of the current Joint Powers Authority, the second VP doesn't have to, because of what you just said, they don't have to be somebody that's appointed from the city. So the second VP for my city is Councilmember Fruin, and then for Campbell as well, I believe that there is Councilmember Ivy, right, is appointed to the board. However, Scazola is the secretary treasurer right now. So that's how you have 2 people that aren't appointed by their councils in these executive positions. So when is the time to nominate someone?
So we're finishing questions now, and then we'll go to nominations.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Are you going to take the slate first, or are you going to take each? I'm just.
We're taking each, so it's taking
each one
position separately and voting on it, and then a motion to approve whatever the previous 5 were.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a vote and then a final motion. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? Are there any nominations? And so I see if you want to speak for, and everyone will get a longer chance to speak, but you can just at least for the record.
For the record.
So which officer are you asking to nominate right now? You're just throwing it all in there?
Nominations on what they want, what they're applying.
For any.
For anyone?
For any
That
position.
who hasn't already submitted.
All right.
Yeah.
Who has
So
it?
I'd like to nominate myself for the position of secretary treasurer. And one of the things, I have a lot of respect for this body. I have served for the last.
We'll
We're
leave
gonna
it
do
at that.
the.
We'll do the
We'll do
1
that
minute,
later?
all back to
Just
back
nominate.
after we
Just
get all
nominate,
all
okay.
the nominations. Thank you. Thank you, then.
So I'd like to nominate someone.
Yeah.
I'd like to nominate Kitty Moore for vice president.
She's already been
Is it?
Sure.
nominated. So it's already been, Already part of the packet.
These are the ones that haven't submitted, okay.
She's nominated for second vice president.
And
First vice president.
these two nominated for first and second.
Okay.
And second.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm 23.
Any other nominations? Yes.
I would like to nominate Mark Turner for first VP.
And what?
You have
You
to
talked
accept
about-
that nomination.
Well, can I ask a few
Accept it, Mark.
questions?
Absolutely.
You talked about, time commitment. What is the time commitment?
So it's an additional 1 hour meeting, but there's often other additional, like touching base,
Okay,
but definitely it's mainly a 1 hour meeting
okay.
every month.
Every month, okay.
Yeah. So it's this 2 hour meeting plus if you're on LAC and all that, but then it's the executive committee usually meets about 2 weeks before this meeting.
Okay. Okay, I'll accept the nomination.
Second? Yes.
Oh, do I say a few
Yeah.
words for why I
Yeah.
nominated him?
When we get to, yeah, okay. And please note for the record that
Yes.
Director Kamei is here. Thank you. Any other nominations? Okay. I'll open up the public. Are there any nominations in the public? No. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public comment. And now we will get, so we need a 1 minute timer.
1 minute.
Warned you.
What is Mark's? What did she nominate for? First?
Mark is first VP, but Kitty. Sorry, we'll have to go over it again.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry, I'm ready.
okay.
You're gonna have to go over each one again, Larry.
Yes, I know, I know. So we'll go through. Each person has 1 minute to speak on their positions, why they think they would be a good addition to the executive committee. I'll start us off. Thank you. Go ahead and start. So, hi, everyone. My name is Larry Klein. Most of you know me. I've been president over the last year, but focused really on trying to make sure everybody's voice is heard, good governance, trying to make sure that the small and large cities are active within this organization, that your issues, from fire to fire preparedness to water to housing elements and dealing with the county, and trying to make sure that all of our voices are heard. I hope that I can get your support for past president. To me, it's trying, and that position is to a large degree kind of an at-large position. It's trying to make sure that helping out wherever you can, the rest of the board, and trying to make sure that they're prepared for whatever the issues are, and filling in for assisting the president whenever they're doing their job. Thank you. Next up is Director Walia, or Vice President Walia.
Hi, I am Tina Walia. As you know, I'd be honored to serve as your 2026 president. I've spent 5 years with the Cities Association, built strong partnerships across all 15 cities. The roles I've served this year: first vice president, 2024 Legislative Action Committee chair. I've been on the board, on the LAC committee, website update committee. I bring valuable experience, institutional knowledge, and continuity to lead our organization forward. At Silicon Valley Clean Energy, I was the board chair 2024 and represented all 13 jurisdictions. 5th year on the board there. that came out of this association, by the way. And in Saratoga, I've served as mayor, vice mayor, got reelected last year to a second 4-year term, uncontested, very rare in Saratoga. I also serve on the County Emergency Area Operating Council. I'm committed to representing all 15 cities and respectfully ask for your vote for 2026 as your president. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up is J.R. Fruin.
And Larry, this is for first vice president.
So this is for first vice president.
And how many applicants for first vice
So
president?
there's two. So J.R. Fruin and Kitty
I thought Mark.
and Mark.
So
Sorry,
there are
three.
three.
Sorry, and Mark.
Three vice president, three. Vice president.
I'm not looking at my notes correct. Thank you.
Nobody went.
Go right ahead.
All right, my name is J.R. Fruin. I currently serve as second vice president and chair of the LAC. It's been a very rewarding experience, and I've really enjoyed working with everybody who's been on that committee, including when we've had interesting discussions and serious debates and very significant disagreements on certain issues. I think that we're a much stronger group together, especially when we're able to reach a consensus and can advocate in Sacramento and elsewhere with one voice. I'm committed to that. I really think it's important that we as a body are able to think regionally. I think that's something that I especially bring to the table. In my day job, I work as chief of staff in Council District 1 in San Jose. I oversee an entire policy team there. I'm very familiar with all of the things that are happening, not just in the immediate vicinity of District 1, which borders on many of our cities, countywide, in part because of what I have to do in that capacity. I would greatly appreciate your vote and look forward to serving you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Director Moore.
Okay, so my name is Kitty Moore. My background is in civil engineering, land development. I've done street plans, grading plans, storm drain plans, and traffic studies. I'm a certified paralegal, and I have recently completed basic and advanced environmental studies programs. I have served on our city's audit committee for a number of years. And I was the person who uncovered that we had 64 million sitting in a non-interest bearing checking account and got that fixed. While we've been on council, we've added a fraud, waste, and abuse hotline, which restores public trust since we had a 14-year embezzlement in the city. So I'm very strong on a number of areas. I'm serving on the Legislative Review Committee. We have a lobbyist who helps us. This is my third year doing that, so I'm pretty comfortable with looking at legislation. I do my homework, and I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you. Next up is Director Turner.
Well, I gotta say I wasn't prepared. So
problem.
I'll make it brief. I'll be committed to whatever is required to advance the agenda of this group. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me get back to my notes. Next up is Elliot Scazola. He is traveling right now. For those of you that are part of cities or Silicon Valley Clean Energy, you know that very, very well. Couldn't get connection last night. Elliot wishes he could have had the opportunity to be here tonight. He wishes to serve on the Cities Association as the second vice president Black chair. He feels he's qualified for having served, 3 years running or elect on the Silicon Valley Clean Energy Ledge Committee, and this year as chair. And he's currently serving as the City of Campbell's Ledge Committee on the City of Campbell's Legislative Committee. He would bring a large knowledge of experience and would like to, especially from what he's learned at the Executive Committee over the past year as Secretary Treasurer. He thinks he has a good working relationship with the legislators and feels he could bring that to bear for the betterment of the Cities Association. Thank you. And then Rob Moore. I did not get a comment from Rob. No one? Okay. Thank you. And so Rob, and for everyone's,
Did you apply for this?
oh, so
I don't know how this works.
I know, so normally it would be one minute and you're saying your abilities for all of them. And next would be
Mhm.
Rosemary.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Rosemary Kamei, and I'm applying for the Secretary Treasurer position. And I shared some information that I passed out regarding my past experience. Some of you know that I've been in the community for over 30 years and have served in many different capacities. Currently, I serve as Vice Chair of our Rules Committee and on the Community Economic Development Committee, as well as Public Safety and Strategic Support and Finance of the city of San Jose. But I also serve in multiple regional capacities, that being ABAG, as well as VTA, as well as the Local Agency Formation Commission. And most recently, I was voted in as a member of the Cal-LAFCO, which is the California State LAFCO Committee for the coastal region, which goes from Sonoma County all the way down to Ventura. So I bring a breadth of experience, and my approach has always been very collaborative, and I ask for your vote.
Thank you. And we'll just add additional minute. Kitty, if you have any comments about any of them, because you did multiples, it is odd from that standpoint. So
So I would personally, so I've had the pleasure of working with Mark Turner on the Santa Clara County Library District JPA, and he was, you're the president.
About your own skills. Sorry.
I mean, I'm using my time and so I would have Mark be my preference for first VP. And then I would keep myself in the running for second VP or the secretary treasurer. I do have that, like I said, I've had 3 years on the legislative review committee. I'm very familiar with the process and creating a platform. And I have several ideas for if you're going to retain the LAC, what can be done to improve it and strengthen it and make sure that we're hearing everybody's voice. And that we're all being advocated for fairly. I do want to point out that Councilmember Fruin is the chief of staff for Councilmember Kamei, and I think that that's an important consideration in the vote.
Okay. So that's all the advocates. So all that's from the nominees. Thank you. So now we'll go position by position from a voting.
I heard some comments, some clarification. That's what I was.
If you have a question,
and,
sure.
Yeah.
Question.
I think some people have asked which position is Rob Moore standing for. I just kind of.
So sorry, Rob Moore is standing for Secretary Treasury.
Is that what he is? Secretary Treasurer.
I thought that was what was in the packet, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what he.
I'm almost positive.
That's what I think.
It's a long packet this
I
night,
think so.
folks. So
Vice Mayor Moore and Elliott. Both of them are running for elect or second VP.
Yeah, that's
Lot hasn't been considered.
Second VP.
Second VP and LAC is one position.
Yeah.
It's a combined role.
Oh.
Second VP and LAC. is one
President
role.
Klein, do you think there's a way that maybe we could put a doc and put all the positions with all the names? I think there's been quite a bit of shifting and confusion tonight, and just wanted to ask through our co-legal counsel. So the bylaws adhere to you can run for multiple positions at the same time.
Yeah, there's no limit. Obviously, if you were elected to one, then you probably would choose
Right.
to.
you put all that in.
Okay. And then my understanding with Legislative Action Committee LAC is positions that we've taken on bills are from the majority of the 15 cities, correct?
Yes.
Right. And so is there clarity on maybe the positions with the different cities have taken when it come to maybe the majority of our cities association versus how other cities may have not been in support of the majority of the positions we've taken on the Legislative Action Committee. I know we have our chair here with J.R. Pruitt. I'd be curious.
Sorry, I missed.
It was my understanding, and I don't staff the, I will say I don't staff the Legislative Action Committee, but it was my understanding, I recall conversations that we were going to be able, cities were going to be able to identify whether or not they were in the majority as part of, to clarify when the letters were sent.
So, yeah. So there's discussion. So definitely the LAC committee is always a work in progress as far as, is it the majority? Is it the majority of the city? So I saw the end of the LAC committee of discussion this evening where they were talking about changes and conceivably how that's presented, because it's like there's the concept that it comes from the county, and each city often duplicates or conceivably has an opposing opinion of what this organization has. This is a majority organization. And so conceivably takes a position that doesn't align with your specific city. How that's captured from a minority standpoint was one of the discussions earlier. So,
and I think just to clarify, I think some of our cities have our own lobbyists and our own portfolio, whereas others don't. So, for example, in the city of Mountain View, we don't take positions on legislation unless the majority of our council has agreed to that. I think, that should be considered, because I know that all of us have different perspectives that we bring to our council. And so it's also the majority of your council, right? And what you're representing there. So I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Is that correct?
that is.
So, Charlie, for second be people lack because people don't appreciate that.
Yes.
I think a lot of cities do too.
You took
That is
yourself
correct.
off the first would be right.
Correct, everyone? Everyone's in agreement. That's what I have in my notes.
These are maybe from the first VP.
Okay. Any other questions? So at this point, and we'll do advocacy on a per position basis, but I'll take public comment. Any member of the public wishing to speak? Actually, I guess we really should do it on a per vote. So, okay. Any comments or advocacy from the board on?
Kind of read. I don't know. This is.
Oh, yes.
I don't think it's on a specific.
It's not on a specific thing. Correct. So just to remind people that that Mayor Chow sent a public comment on this general item and kind of on the other one, but on this general item. So that's in front of you. First, we'll be talking about past president. Any advocacy?
You've done a phenomenal job, President Klein, Mayor Klein, and I fully support that. I'll be brief.
Thank you. Thank you for being brief.
I like the fact that he has very recent experience.
Thank you. Any other comment?
Yep. Yeah, I really appreciate you, Larry, how you run the meetings. However, if you can shorten the meetings so we don't go over too long.
We'll try.
But,
We'll try tonight.
But no, I hope that you become president.
Gonna happen tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a question. You will be the past president, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And
That
from
makes it simple.
a terminology standpoint, it's really past president. Basically member at large.
Yeah, and
Because
you've done a great job, so.
we've had presidents that have finished their term as president,
Right.
and so it's become a member at large for a year.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
So anyway. Any other comments? Any members of the public have a comment?
No one online.
Thank you.
There's
Oh,
one right
sorry.
there.
Yeah, I'd like to speak in favor of Rob Moore.
So we'll do this for each
I'm sorry.
position. Not a problem. We'll work our way through.
Okay.
Okay. With that, we only have one. We'd be listing off.
You made
So-
me get
so-
it.
So for expediency, we just do a voice vote for this. For anything that's that's only has a single applicant, we'll just do a voice vote. Just for speed.
And if anything happens with the voice vote, we could always.
We always go back to.
We don't need a motion or anything.
No.
Okay. All in favor of Larry Klein as past president, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? No absences. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah. Okay, next is president. Any comments on Tina Walia being our next president?
I'll start by saying I support Tina being our next president, as she just finished up serving as our first vice president and was also second vice president and LAC chair and did an amazing job. I think nobody's better prepared and on top of an issue than Tina is, and she is ready to lead this organization. I am excited about what she's going to do in the coming year for our organization, because I know every task she takes up, she takes it seriously, and she leads with integrity and focus. And so I'm excited to support Tina to be our next Cities Association president.
Thank you. Any other quick comments? Yes.
So I want to also advocate for Tina. She is a person that listens, and not only that, she can relate to people. And I think she's done an excellent job all these years that I've served here with you. You've done an excellent job. So
Thank you. Any member of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none,
No one online.
no one online. Thank you. So we can do a voice vote again.
All in favor of Tina Walia serving as president, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? No absences? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up is first vice president. We have two applicants. Any advocacy? Yes.
I'd like to advocate for Mayor Turner. We have an opportunity now, like you were saying before, to have someone from South County in a leadership position. South County, our transportation needs are different. Our agriculture is unique. Our flood control and our water needs and our relationship with Valley Water is different in South County. And the resources that end up in South County are different than the rest of the county. And with Mark's past experience as a Chamber of Commerce president, he also represents well from the private sector. And I do know that Mark has a city staff that would be very supportive in his role here as well. So.
Thank you. Other comments?
So I'm also for Mark Turner, because I'm a big advocate for people to have opportunities. You know, sometimes it's good to have change. And I know Mark personally, he's a good person, and you listen to people and you listen to people. And again, that South County, you guys are misrepresented. So yeah, we need you there.
Thank you. Other comments? So I think we have two good applicants as far as this is concerned. I appreciate Mark willing to throw his hat in the ring at the last minute. I do think that JR has served well as second vice president over the last year. I do think that for me, continuing that knowledge, not that Mark couldn't bring a lot, and I look forward to him being on the executive committee now or in the future at some point. But I do think that there is value in having JR continuing that position from an executive board standpoint. So any other advocacy?
And I'll second that. And again, this is a good problem to have, where we have two great candidates, Mark and JR. I am supporting JR for first VP. He has been part of the organization and the executive committee for the past couple of years. And I do think he's primed and ready to be the first VP after having served as second VP and LAC chair which as someone who has served as a lecturer, I know that's the most demanding of all the different positions here. And he handled it well with a lot of challenges this past year. And so it's not a reflection, and to Mayor Bose's point about South County, I would love to see South County represented on the EC. But for me, for this position, JR has the edge because of his experience and what I've seen him brought specifically to the Cities Association as part of the executive committee.
Any last comments? Thank you. Seeing none, I will go, and just as a reminder, this will be a voice vote. So you choose, basically, the city name will be called out and you basically list off last name. So.
Okay.
Take a look.
Palo Alto,
Bruin.
Cupertino,
Turner.
Los Altos Hills,
Bruin.
Milpitas,
Turner.
Saratoga,
Rowan,
Morgan Hill,
Turner.
Mountain View,
Ruin.
Campbell,
Turner,
Sunnyvale,
Bruin.
Santa Clara,
Ruin.
Gilroy,
Turner.
Los Gatos,
Bruin.
San Jose, Ruin, Los Altos,
Bruin.
Montessorino,
Bruin.
with 10 votes.
Congratulations. And
Okay.
don't go away.
Congratulations.
Or congratulations, either
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
not-
exactly.
depending on how you look at that. Yeah.
Throw your name in for another position. Second vice president,
Okay.
elect chair.
Next up, second vice president, LAC chair. We have two applicants, Scazola and Moore. Advocacy.
I'm advocating for Katie Moore. And if you look at her resume, she's done a lot for she's been the the chair for the PAC, the BTA. And I know you always, when I was on the board for BTA, you always came up with some very, very, the way that you presented the facts to the board, it was very intellectual, very intellectual. And I know you would do really well as the second vice president. So I'm advocating for you.
Thank you. Other advocacy?
I'm advocating for Kitty Moore. The two candidates, I believe she has more depth and experience in legislative action. So I think she would make a good addition to the executive committee.
Thank you. Other advocacy?
I'd like to advocate for Elliot Scazola. He brings continuity. He's done a phenomenal job this year as secretary treasurer, attending executive committee meetings, and that continuity I have seen as I started at the level and continued to progress and transition up. It is important, and he's done a great job. Unfortunately, he has some issue because of which he couldn't be here today.
Thank you. Other advocacy? So yeah, so Elliot, I think Elliot has done a good job this past year from a treasurer standpoint, and definitely was hoping that he would be able to be here tonight, and the traveling has made that impossible. But I do think that he would be a good LAC chair and second vice president because of what he's been doing from an advocacy standpoint, or from a legislative action committee, or Silicon Valley Clean Energy and others. With that, any other comments? Yes.
I had a question. Were there opportunities for folks who are traveling to appear on Zoom?
There were, but he had issues last night, and he's in Costa Rica,
Okay.
and he's had problems. So he had an early meeting earlier this week. where he could only get audio and kept dropping out and similar. So he's in a bad location in Central America. Yes. Okay.
And President Klein, he also had no choice about the dates, unfortunately, about the travel.
Any other comments? Please
Okay.
conduct the vote.
San Jose,
Zola,
Morgan Hill,
More.
Campbell,
more,
Cupertino,
More.
Cooper.
Huh?
Okay.
No, Peters, right?
no, no.
Cupertino.
Oh, sorry.
Palo Alto,
Skull.
Zola, Santa Clara,
Scazola.
Los Gatos,
Abstain?
Sunnyvale,
Scazola.
Los Altos,
Scazola.
Mountain View,
Zola.
Los Altos Hills,
Scazola.
Saratoga,
Elliot Scazola, sorry.
Sunnyvale.
Scazola. Wait, you didn't already? Wait.
You got to vote
You already
twice,
did something.
Larry.
No, I called your seat. You're supposed to say who you're. Oh, jeez.
Hang on.
Okay, that's
Double check.
right. Okay, Gilroy,
More.
Monte Sereno,
Scazola. Scazola.
Milpitas.
More.
I'm just gonna count. 1, 2. Okay. With 9 votes, Scazola has the majority.
And last is Secretary Treasurer. We have 3 candidates this time. May Moore. Sorry, when you say voice vote, please do Rob and Kitty and Rosemary for that. It's since we're doing first names, just to make it easier.
Change your name to more.
Yeah. Too. It could be another command.
I'm not running for anything.
Exactly. Okay. Any advocacy?
I'd like to advocate for Rob Moore. I serve with Rob Moore in Los Gatos, and it's terrific to have a young voice on our council representing a large part of our Santa Clara County population. He is very attuned to issues that I think are important for the Cities Association to be even more active on. And he does his homework as well. And I think that he will be around for continuity if he is elected. And so I think that's important as well.
Thank you. Oh, that is correct.
That is correct.
Thank you. Sorry. Because of the, it's the same as Vicky. So thank you, Vice President Walia. Ultimately, we can only have 2 people that aren't current board members on the executive committee. So conceivably, Rob Moore's name would be removed, just to raise that issue, which we talked about. Yeah, ultimately, it makes sense. Thank you.
Can I ask
Legal
another
counsel. Yes.
procedural question?
Sure.
There was some question about Mr. Fruin work, or is there any legal issue there?
A conflict of interest issue?
Well, any kind. Attorneys can come up with all kinds of.
Yes, we
reasons.
can. That's true.
You're not saying no. Let's move on.
No, it's whether or not those individuals feel that they can represent the best interests of their respective communities.
Since it was raised, I thought you would
Yeah.
opine.
Good point. Thank you. Any other advocacy? So I would like to advocate for Rosemary. I think, thank you for putting your name in the hat. looking at your breadth of experience county-wide. And it wasn't until, I saw, it's like, there are things that you've been doing in the county that I hadn't realized. So thank you for your service, education, water, and continuing in San Jose. I know San Jose is not the easiest city to work in.
Thank you.
But also, having that capability, I think you bring a lot, those connections and breadth of knowledge through the years. I think you bring a lot to the executive committee. So I thank you for applying. Other vice mayor or vice.
I'd like to advocate for Rosemary as well. My city with other cities are adjoining, abutting San Jose and Rosemary. That is Rosemary's district. And this is my 5th year on council, and I have found since Rosemary got on her council, I am invited, my other colleagues are invited to engage, to meet her in person. And I had a great relationship with the prior person as well, representing that district. You want to solve the problems and listen to the neighboring cities and see what can be done to address while watching your own city's interests. And for that, I really support you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, ready?
Go ahead with a voice vote.
Monte Sereno,
Command.
Milpitas,
Come in.
Palo Alto,
May.
Los Altos,
Me.
Gilroy,
More.
Santa Clara,
Come
Cupertino,
More.
Morgan Hill,
Command.
Saratoga,
Rosemary Kamei.
Los Gatos,
May.
Sunnyvale,
Rosemary.
Los Altos Hills,
Rosemary.
Campbell,
More.
San Jose, Mountain View.
So I just want to say this is the first time that I get to vote for my mom. Because I never lived in anything she represented or was old enough, so I had to definitely vote for her. So, yes, Rosemary. Yeah.
Thank you. With 12 votes, Rosemary Kamei.
Thank you. Thank you all for going through this process. It's not easy, as we see. We've gone through an hour. Now I need a motion just for the final kind of official standpoint. Can someone make a motion?
You got I'll second.
Thank you.
Sorry, who made the motion?
So Palo Alto and
Motion
Morgan.
to.
to
Exactly.
approve the executive committee for 2026 as listed on the screen once you highlight those. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, motion to,
Yeah.
motion to approve the 2026 executive committee members as presented on the screen in highlight was made by Lowing, seconded by Turner.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We only have 6 more hours of items. Okay. Our next item, we'll try to keep this as quickly as possible, is website update and discussion, possible action. You have in your packet, we interviewed several different organizations to update our website. As you know, our website has been much needed updates, has been in much needed updating, especially after Shali's assistants kind of left about a year ago. And so it's been lagging on updates, and as well as just kind of some of the abilities like uploading a 100-page packet didn't work on the current website. There's lots of things to automate. From that standpoint, we interviewed several different organizations, and Tripepi was the winner at the end of the day. So you can see their contract. What we're looking for tonight to speed things along is to authorize the executive director and legal counsel to negotiate the final contract and authorize the president to sign that contract so that we can do those updates hopefully as quickly as possible. Any questions? Yes.
The packet didn't have any comparison information from the other bidders.
The other bidder with so the main other bidder, and we can give that to you if you want. Performed, but I'll say underperformed when we looked. So the big thing about Tripepi that we ultimately found out was they're doing this for multiple other JPAs. So and cities. So some of our cities they're also supporting for what we need. They have, as you see, a laundry list of skills. The other organization that we looked at ultimately was very limited on their website capacity, and so this company ultimately has the bandwidth as well as the skill set to do similar. They've done similar things from that standpoint.
Well, it would have been helpful to have a report to let us know who the other bidder was and what the price was.
Okay.
So that there's some cost comparison. It's not always about cost.
Right. I understood. So do you want to comment from the subcommittee standpoint that went through?
Yeah. And I appreciate you asking that question. We had multiple meetings, the ad hoc committee with them. And I will share that it was really good to have some discussion about the technical aspects, some of which I will frankly admit it was great to have Larry there to lead that conversation, because I couldn't even understand some of those nuances or what the other would be able to do or not do for us. So Tripepi Smith, by far, as you pointed out, it's not just the dollar amount, but in terms of the deliverables, they stood out.
Who was the firm?
Say again?
Who was the firm?
Who's the other firm? She's asking.
The other firm was
Community Planning Collaborative.
Community Planning Collaborative. So they're doing the planning collaborative updates but it was ultimately they're a very niche sort of organization. So they're, and not that they're not doing the housing element and everything from that standpoint with a lot of value. There's doing a website comparison of what they, and it was also, Mark was there for part of the meeting, and Murli Srinivasan, who's also technical. We went through a lot of their websites and looked at that, and that was a big push from that standpoint.
I'll move to approve.
What is?
Other questions?
I'm sorry.
What
you were
is
done.
the amount?
Yeah.
I was confused about what.
So it's 12, basically 12,000 for the upgrades to the website to make it automatic. And then it's $630 for a yearly hosting fee. And beyond that,
You're doing the maintenance?
no. So we're not doing the maintenance. So ultimately, and they give basically 3 months of kind of ongoing updated maintenance. But it's supposed to be made automatic enough that Shali, well, all the monthly items that Shali has to do are fine. All the upgrades that we normally do at the beginning of the year, new executive committee, what the vision is, what the strategic priorities for a specific year are done. And then we can go back to them on a yearly basis to say, if we want to charge that, but conceivably one of our goals was to make, it's a WordPress website, but it's a lot more functional than our existing site, to make it easy for anyone to update.
So our executive director or city staff would be able to maintain or.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's a one-time fee at that point. And they're, it's like for them, it's conceivable branding and other things you see. They have a full, principal engineers, and they can come up with other logos and all that. It's like, so it's not what we need. It's basically, it's a refresh of the site. It's a transfer of all the existing stuff that we already have there. It's also merging in like the airplane, maintaining a repository for the airplane noise roundtable, as well as a connection to the planning collaborative information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Yes.
So, looking at this year's budget as part of this, the website currently is 600. So the annual maintenance for this new website would be 630, but I believe
It's the web hosting fee.
okay,
Right.
the hosting fee, but what we're currently using also has the roundtable website. So will that remain as is?
That's all transferred over. So we all transferred to the new organization.
So essentially what was costing us 1,200 annually before will be reduced to 630. Okay, besides the initial fees.
Yes, the current web hosting company that we're using told me that I could not take the Roundtable website and put it under the umbrella of the city's association website.
which should have been an easy sort. Anyway, from a web standpoint, it should have been easy, but at least the new organization was, or the Tripepi was like, oh yes, it's not, because it's not being updated. It's mainly a repository, but you don't want to lose those meeting minutes and documents and all of that, which a lot of effort went into. Yes. Yes.
Just a point on the agenda. It only says website update, discussion, and possible action, but it doesn't let us know what the action might be. And it looks like you're wanting us to agree to forming this contract with Tripepi. Is that in the future? Could we have a little bit more information about these agenda items so that we know that perhaps you could include the dollar amount even
We
in that recommended action?
We can bring the contract back for final review if people want in January. So it's negotiated the contract. So what we're doing is negotiating the contract. We can have a final look if people want before we do the final signature. So that was the whole thing. But from an agendized standpoint, you're absolutely right that we could add more.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, just one more, and maybe this will go into our bylaws, but it sounds like we only got 2 quotes for this. Do we have any requirements for a number of quotes that we need to get when we go out to bid for these kind of things?
Currently.
Not currently.
So 2 quotes doesn't sound super competitive to me, but if that's not in our bylaws, we're certainly within our rights. So.
Other questions, comments? Open up the public hearing on this item. Seeing no comments in the room. Anyone remote?
No, not mine.
Close the public comment and bring it back to the board for a motion.
I was motioned.
And so the question which I would like to do, either straw poll, is just authorize the executive committee to, also authorize the executive director and legal counsel to negotiate a final agreement and authorize the president to sign.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
I missed it.
You can have it.
Thank you.
So the motion is to authorize the executive director and legal counsel to negotiate a contract with Tripepi Smith and to authorize the president to sign that contract. Was made by Turner, seconded by Montano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to item number 5, consideration of amendment to the Cities Association Joint Powers Agreement and Bylaws, discussion and possible action. Next, of course, is a proposal from Cupertino to change our JPA bylaws. First, Janny, you have kind of an overview of the process.
I just go right to the second slide.
There it is. Hi.
Through the chair, quick statement, I guess. Just want to point out that the recommendation is to consider whether to place the proposed amendments to the JPA and bylaws on a future agenda to take formal action on the request or for further discussion. So that means down the road, we could vote to discuss this some more at another time. So in the interest of time this evening, I know we don't want to run too late. We can vote to talk about this again another meeting.
Okay. First, let's talk about the process, and we have there's multiple things here. First, I wanted Janny to kind of give an overview of the process. You have the pack and the proposal tonight. Mayor Chow gave me a video. At least she gave me the first 18 minutes, and now it was reduced down to 8. So keep that in mind. Questions would then go to Director Moore, I'm assuming, since we can't ask the mayor any questions. So that would be, and so conceivably at a certain point here, if you feel that we should postpone this, and there's some discussion from a sense of time standpoint, since this is coming from your council specifically, this request, I'm happy to undertake that motion, but I do want to go through this at least first. Go ahead. Sorry.
So the request really, from my vantage point, the request includes amendments to both the joint powers agreement and to the bylaws. And there are 2 different processes to amend the joint powers agreement and the bylaws. So the next slide. To amend the Joint Powers Act, is it not sticking? So to amend the joint powers agreement, it states in the agreement itself that it needs to be approved by each of your legislative bodies and by a majority, by 10 of the 15 cities or towns would need to approve that. And then the bylaws amendment process is in the bylaws, and it must have been the subject of a lot of conversation before I came on board, because it's a process that takes some time. So the action for the bylaws this evening would be to whether or not the board wants to agendize that for a future meeting. And if you determine to do that, then we would send the bylaws amendments to each of the cities and towns so that they can consider them and have time to provide input. Let 30 days pass, and then it would come back. And on balance, and looking at the proposed amendments, it really requires it. It's really essentially amendment to the JPA. So it would need to go to the individual councils.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do the first questions for Janny. Any questions? Okay. So next up would be the video from Mayor Chow.
Okay.
No audio.
Can't hear it.
Maybe
Or-
Alex then? How to get audio?
Actually, unmute your.
Therefore, I would like to
Coming
propose
out of
some
here.
credential changes
I'll start from the beginning.
That's probably
for
good.
Cities Association.
Better and it's being recorded, so it's fine.
Hi, everyone. This is Liang Chao, serving as Cupertino Mayor this year. This is my 7th year on the Cupertino City Council. I've served on the Cities Association Board for 2 to 3 years in the past. And therefore, I would like to propose some potential changes for cities association. The intent is to make sure that it works better for all the cities. I think the association does play an important role. But first of all, I'd like to thank Charlie and Larry for your tremendous help in providing all the documents so that I can look deeper and create this proposal. Thank you. So why bother? I think ever since I started on the city council and served on the board, I have heard dissatisfaction with cities association from various council members from different cities for years. And there is the perception that only a handful of people in the inner circle gets to serve on the executive board. And the perception that the agenda items do not allow the city council member to really discuss items that we care about. Some people even wondered, why do we even need an executive committee? Why do we need a legislative action committee when there is no paid lobbyist to help us? Study each bills. And some wondered whether the treasurer is doing its job and to really have a critical look at our budget. So we proposed some revision for your consideration. These are the dues that we currently, each city pay. Thanks, Shelley, for providing the information so we know how much we are contributing to the association. So we want to make sure that it works for us. I have tried to summarize the current practice because not many people know what they are. But in the interest of time, I won't repeat them. And then I will just express some concerns that we have. And so the main thing is 2 officers on the executive committee are not required to be appointed by any member city at a public meeting to represent them. And the LAC chair
Okay, ask them if they can hear you.
Okay, Sam, can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. We can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, now I don't know why that's showing.
Don't
because
worry
that's-
don't worry about that. for now.
Okay.
They're working on that separately.
Okay.
Okay. At least we're being recorded at this point. So, motion. And for those that have seen the video or seen what's happened, we've had one of our two computers crash and can't currently display in the room. And from a sake of time standpoint, there is a motion from which director wanted to make? Turner, seconded by Moore, to postpone this item to our January meeting.
To continue it.
To continue, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for the right words.
Should we say our January or our next meeting?
January.
We'll definitely have, okay.
Is it time certain?
That I know this is a really big agenda packet and going through these types of changes is very time consuming. So if you haven't had a chance to look at all the materials, we've got 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll post the video that Mayor Chow gave us so that you can get the background that we're going to show at that point. Voice vote?
All right, motion to continue agenda item 5 to our January 2026 meeting was made by Turner, seconded by Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any, sorry, okay. Any abstentions? Great, thank you. Motion passes with 14 ayes, 1 nay.
Thank you. Next up is item 6, planning collaborative update, discussion and possible action. First, is David on? Can we hear him or no?
David, can you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Barely. So people in the back of the room, sorry, go as loud as you can. Go ahead, David. We won't be able to see you, but we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just doing a quick intro in terms of the planning collaborative, what we're up to. Charlie, let me know what items you want me to cover other than that.
Do you want to go over your highlights, David?
Sure.
I can put it up on my screen.
You can't.
That's okay. I think you had it in your packet.
Never mind, can't. But it's in the packet.
Yeah, so it's been a super busy year. As everybody knows, we're coming to the end of our funding support from the state REAP funds flowing through ABAG. And we've been prioritizing a number of things based on staff and implementation of your housing elements. I know it's not on every housing element, but one of the key themes has been, well, several key themes. One has been missing middle housing. We've been having a work group. We have our final work group meeting in December. And at today's meeting, we had the request to possibly continue that next year because a number of jurisdictions are working on implementation of missing middle housing policies in the coming year. We did a deep dive on the new slew of state laws related to housing. There's a number of technical assistance products coming out to support staff in understanding what they need to do for implementation of those laws and what it means for housing practices. We have been doing a big push on anti-displacement, helping people connect with resources and tools, understand what other communities have done and what might make sense for your individual communities. Everyone is in a different place on that, but a number of people have identified in housing elements that they're going to adopt certain anti-displacement policies. So we've been doing a lot of work to make sure staff have support for that work, and have created a public-facing website that provides a place where people can go to learn about what does displacement mean. There's currently a survey, a countywide survey that we've been encouraging everyone to take, and your staff have been helping to get the word out about that. I think to date we have about 800 responses, but we're hoping to get that number up before the end of the month. And yeah, there's been a lot going on. And yeah, we're looking forward to next year. We're super excited that every one of the jurisdictions have indicated they're going to be continuing the collaborative and making a contribution. And I know tonight you're going to be taking an action, hopefully, to support that work and be the fiscal agent. Each jurisdiction will be contributing to their part. There's a tiered structure for contributions. We have also the opportunity for jurisdictions to opt in for additional support. And I think to date, we've got 7 different jurisdictions that have indicated they want to do that. And today we heard from a couple others that may want to join that group. And things we're looking at there are additional support for jurisdictions that are managing below market rate units and have to have BMR guidelines, they're called, for managing those units, and looking at ways in which we could standardize those. We're also looking at opportunities for shared housing staff where a jurisdiction might need more expertise or capacity, but doesn't have the path to hire a full-time staff person, but they could share a staff person with another jurisdiction. So that's been happening in San Mateo County, and we're learning from that and thinking about whether that makes sense for some of the interested jurisdictions. There's 6 jurisdictions that are doing collaboratively what's called the Grand Nexus and Feasibility Study. So you're updating your inclusionary zoning and you're saving a lot of money by doing that all together rather than doing it individually. Yeah, that's the highlights. So there's a lot of, and well, one of the highlights is the ADU plans galleries, and we, a number of you have launched ADU plans galleries. This is compliance with state law requirements. It provides a great resource for your homeowners in your jurisdiction. We had really great coverage from the Mercury News and a bunch of your local papers, making sure that homeowners are aware of those resources if they're interested in doing an ADU. And I think I'll stop there because I know you guys have a ton on your plates tonight.
Thank you. And next, we'll pass it to Janny to talk about items A and B on the section Memorandum of Understanding and the Professional Services Agreement.
So although this is going to be basically a pass-through agreement where each of your member cities are going to contribute the funds to be able to continue to participate in this collaborative effort, I wanted to put in place kind of safeguards and procedures. So we worked closely with the city managers on this, and we created an MOU that each of the cities and possibly the county, because they have participated up until this point, an MOU so that everybody would understand and clarify the roles in this collaborative effort. And then the Cities Association would continue to serve as it has to be the fiscal agent. So we drafted an agreement for professional services with the Community Planning Collaborative. And the city managers had the opportunity to review the MOU. And the Community Planning Collaborative, our consultants will work with your individual staff members to circulate that MOU. And we've put the city managers on notice and tapped them to work on that too.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, so all of this has already gone through the city managers?
Yes. Do you want me to elaborate more? Yes, it went through and it was supported.
Thank you. Any other comments?
And what happens if a city funds it through the calendar year 2026 and doesn't get funding, or it doesn't get approved in the budget for the following year? Does the city have an option to opt out without any penalty? Or?
Yes, everything's completely voluntary. And it's my understanding the Community Planning Collaborative might want to chime in on this, but some cities have already opted for 2 years. But we are going to sit down and have with them and with Sunnyvale as our fiscal agent and have a very nice spreadsheet of who's what so that we can track, because Shawley will be approving every invoice and tracking what level of service and where the money's coming from.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Director Moore.
So just kind of going around the room, has everyone been informed by their city manager about this? Because I was not told about this. So everyone here was already told.
So I called one.
I've seen this in the packet.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this forward, because the concept of an MOU, so it's changed from the way it was, because ultimately this was being funded through MTC, through the state, and now it's a sign up and pay as you go, depending upon, from a city standpoint, whether or not our cities want to be part of the power of multiple people and multiple groups working with the planning collaborative.
Okay, but it seems as though this is a request to spend money from our cities, and we haven't had our city council vote on this matter that they want to continue. So I'm a little confused about what we are going to be doing here.
So the cities association, up until this point, has actually entered into the grant agreements with the state and has taken the grant money. So we use that as a model. So we'll continue to do that. It turns out that the Community Planning Collaborative has already collected some money from a few of the cities and towns. And we work collaboratively with the city managers and talk to them about this concept, right? And so we're bringing it to the board to see if you're comfortable with it, but we thought you would want to know that the city managers and then your individual planning departments have been encouraging this effort, and to have one entity contract with the Community Planning Collaborative.
If I can jump in, at least for Sunnyvale, the cost is within my authority as city manager. So it fits within the budget appropriation for our community development department, and it's an agreement that I can execute the payment on. With the adoption of the full budget, that gives me the appropriation for a variety of things. So it's so small, it could be possible that that it's already embedded in budgets, and therefore is being handled that way. I would always encourage you to talk to your city manager about it, for sure, if you have questions about it. But I'm not going to bring, for example, this would not be an expenditure that I would necessarily bring to our city council for approval, because I have authority under our charter and under our code to enter into an agreement like this, under the dollar amount.
And through the chair,
Yeah.
what is the function of our possible action here?
It's being the fiscal agent.
Right. It's Shawley's time, which will be about 1% of her time, to track the invoices and request Sunnyvale to make payment to the Community Planning Collaborative. So we will ultimately collect the money, put it in our bank account, and pay the consultant with it. And that tracks for about 1% of her time, which will be reimbursed.
Okay, and going back to kind of my question about one of the earlier agenda items, this says planning collaborative update, discussion, and possible action, but it doesn't state what the possible action would be. So just for clarity, could someone state what the possible action is going to be here?
Certainly, and I've made notes, so we'll work on the agendas. The recommended action in the staff report is to approve and authorize the president to execute a memorandum of understanding with the member agencies to serve as the fiscal agent and administer an agreement for professional services with the consultant Community Planning Collaborative. And then number 2, approve and authorize the president to execute an agreement for professional services with the Community Planning Collaborative to serve as the consultant to the member agencies and the county in the amount of funds provided by the member agencies and the county.
Thank you. Quick question, did Cupertino already contribute to this, or is already?
Do you know if Cupertino? Can you ask David if Cupertino's joined? Or
David, do you know if Cupertino has joined, or I assume if they've paid it yet?
I don't think they've paid, but they've joined. Sam, do you know? Yeah, Sam's indicated they've not paid. I'll call out. Sam Dolgoff's on the call as well. She's the person who makes all the magic happen in the collaborative. But they've said they are planning to join, and they have a commitment to.
They've committed to join.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Okay. V.
Thank you. So, if I may, this item has been brought to the Cities Association Board a few months ago this year.
Yes,
we have
several.
discussed about the process, the fact that, as Jenny just explained, in the past we were getting funding for refunds.
It's
refunds.
Yeah.
And
Regional
that is how
Early
all the
Action
cities
Plan.
got the benefit.
from the community planning collaborative to the work that each city. And as a small city, I know we got a lot of benefit for that during the housing element. I have been discussing, after this was presented a few months ago in this board, I have been discussing with my city manager as well as with the CDD director, Community Development Department director. When I saw this on the agenda, I sent an email, discussed constantly with my city manager, as you know, he's sitting in the back. Matt Morley, Saratoga city manager. He said yes, he is aware of this at the city manager's meeting, which is somewhere in the staff report. And he shared with me why my city, and I'm happy to note that they've already committed to proceeding. The dollar amount is so low, I don't expect this to come in front of my city council. I have not discussed with the mayor, but I'm assuming there is no need for it to come to my city council. If it does, I'll support it. My city manager has already smaller cities get more of it. I shouldn't say more, they get a lot of benefit. Again, unified voice like the 15 cities sitting here, similarly with planning collaborative. And I thought we discussed this 1%. Sunnyvale is serving the fiscal agent and staff time for the executive director.
It's roughly 1% of my time. It's very little time. It's just the difference between getting one check from ABAG and immediately paying the consultants versus getting 15 checks and then paying the consultants.
I have a couple other comments, if I may,
Sure.
if you're into,
Go.
because I heard
We're
a
not-
motion somewhere there.
Well,
Yeah,
we have, still questions? I prefer
No
questions.
I just want to confirm the tiers are based on population, if I remember right.
Correct.
And I'll just second the motion to close the motion. But, yeah.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on this item? Anyone remote? No,
no
there's no
one.
remote. Well, there is, but okay. No one remote?
Just a quick comment,
Comment,
if I
and
may.
then we'll go to the motion. Yeah, absolutely.
Comment to the planning collaborative team that I appreciate the value that your work brings to all cities, especially, as I stated, smaller cities. You know, I have spoken endlessly over the years in Cities Association about the ADUs, and that's a success, but I also want to talk to you about some of the challenges different cities have in implementing that standardized ADUs, and I'll hold the rest in the interest of time.
Thank you. And before we get to the voting on the motion, I did want to comment, I wanted to bring this to the board, you know, conceivably, especially to educate, because there's definitely, you know, council members from around the county that didn't know that this is happening. And so it's checking in with your city manager. So I know we brought it up a few months ago, but it's real at this point, and finalizing this contract, you know, conceivably could have been a consent calendar item almost, because it's paying for time and it's setting up that fiscal responsibility. But the important thing is making sure that all of us know that this opportunity is there, and conceivably the council hasn't been informed. Maybe your planning staff doesn't see that as valuable, but at least having that discussion with your city manager or with your council ad hoc is important for your organization. So anyway, with that, we have a.
Rosemary.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
No, I just wanted to add my appreciation to Jenny and the staff. The agenda item in and of itself always says what the discussion and any possible action is. So if you look at what the recommendation is, and the agenda item sort of reminds us that in May, the planning collaborative did come to us and gives us a little bit of history. So I think that, you know, I just want to appreciate that Jenny had that in there. I know that if you just look at the agenda, you don't see it all, but the agenda is a summary of what's in the agenda item. So I suggest people take a look at that more closely, because it gives all the details. So, and I know it takes a lot of work for staff to put it together. So it was many pages, but very helpful.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
It's our biggest packet, I think, since I've been on council or been on the board. Yes.
So do the new members have a copy of the bylaws?
Well, it's part of the, well, yes.
Well, the bylaws and the JPA agreement are in this packet.
Yeah.
That's why it was so long.
Sorry.
That's why
The
I saw
bylaws
that.
The bylaws.
bylaws are in the packet.
Are in today's packet.
Yeah.
If you're talking about
The ones that we have, the JPA
Yes, they're actually in this, right. It's in the it's in the packet. Yeah, that's one of the things we wanted to put on. Yeah. Okay. We have a motion.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? I'm sorry.
I
seconded.
There
Okay.
we go. I couldn't remember who was second first. Okay. Thank you. And
vote?
voice vote. is fine.
Okay. Motion to, as the recommendation in the staff, in the agenda report says, approve and authorize the president to execute a memorandum of understanding with the member agencies to serve as the fiscal agent and administer an agreement for professional services with consultant Community Planning Collaborative, and approve and authorize the president to execute an agreement for professional services with the Community Planning Collaborative to serve as a consultant to the member agencies and the county in the amount of the funds provided by the member agencies and the county. Was made by Moore, seconded by Flagger. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. For item number 7, for sake of time, and especially since our treasurer is not here, although Mr. Kirby is here, I would like a motion to postpone this to our January meeting.
So moved.
We'll open up public comment very quickly. And I heard Kamei, and I didn't hear who's the second. Moore. There we go.
Okay. Okay, so take the vote?
Yes.
Okay, motion to continue agenda item 7 to the January meeting was made by Kamei and seconded by Moore. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes.
Is that the whole item, 7A and B?
Yes, all of 7
Okay, all of, may I make a comment, please? Or you may want to do that?
for
For
very
this,
quickly.
Just that the agreement has been signed for Sunnyvale to be the fiscal.
Oh,
yes.
Right.
She was gonna do that for that.
As part of the
Yeah.
executive summary.
Okay, thanks.
That's fine, not a problem. Item 8, so we do need to talk about item 8. Determine the date of our January 2026 meeting. Normally, this meeting happens early in the month when some of our councils haven't done their appointments yet. It also often conflicts with VTA meetings. So I think it is in the best interest of this organization to, and you see the different dates. January 15th conflicts with especially the Policy Advisory Commission at 4 p.m., which I don't know, but from the first meeting standpoint, from a VTA Board of Directors meeting at 5:30. If you look at the January 22nd, it still conflicts with slight meetings. It does conflict with League of California City Mayors and Council Members Academy. That being said, normally that used to be a new council member. They removed the new just to try to get, I think, more people to show up. But since it's not an election year, except for some people, I think that has the better selection date for our meeting in January. The next week is U.S. Conference of Mayors, so we'll lose multiple mayors. So just to get everybody kind of laying up that, to me, it kind of focuses January 22nd as our best date for our January meeting. Any comments, questions? Yes. Any member of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, is there a motion to move to January 22nd as our next meeting? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Voice vote?
sure. Motion to move the January 2026 meeting date to January 22nd by Montano, second by Flagger. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Correct, we're leaving everything the same. Item number 9, LAC committee update.
Almost, I think.
JR? If you can keep it short. I know you had lots of discussion at your meeting,
Yes.
which at least I saw part of.
Thank you, everybody. We had only discussion items. I thought they were useful. We did a wrap-up on all of the tracked bills. There was a request for the documenting that we have of the positions that we've taken and the ultimate outcomes. We'll provide that to the rest of the body. We did an overview of a case that may impact a number of cities and their housing elements and their ongoing validity. New Common Downtown Los Angeles LLC versus the City of Redondo Beach. You'll find it in the packet. We then went over bill ideas that we might have all had for the next legislative session for our delegation in Sacramento, and then discussed how best the LAC can serve the board in the coming year. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Any member of the public wishing to speak?
I just made one comment associated with the League of California Cities. They've had no propositions to vote on at that association. I think, frankly, that gives the Cities Association here an opportunity to be able to send a solid message, being the home of world-class tech center of the world. So I also want to say Terry Hines, Campbell City Council. This is Terry Hines' opinion. This is not a Campbell City or a Campbell Council decision.
Thank you. I'll close public comment on this. I will add one other comment. Please talk to your state legislators. They are looking for bills for next year, and several of them have different events coming up in December and January to talk about potential bills for next year. So it's a good time for that. No other comments. We'll move on to item number 10, Santa Clara County update. Mr. Preminger.
Thank you. My joy is that I'm not your last report. The county went through a arduous process of discussing the impact of HR 1. We were able to get before most of the cities to give you a little background on what it is that the county does. We appreciated your letting us have that kind of access. Some quick items, the kinds of things we do, for instance, are offer ambulance service, EMS service, and we would like to do surveys sent out to the cities to get your opinion about how you feel about the ambulance service. It's really important information to all our residents. And then my last quick announcement, another thing that we do is take our veterans very seriously, and we all know there's a very serious challenge with veteran suicides. We'll send this out, a soft copy of this flyer too, but we would like to have you share this with your residents so that our veterans can know that there is help available for those that are suffering. Thank you.
Thank you. One second. Any questions? Any member of the public wishing to speak on this item? Thank you, Mr. Preminger, and congratulations on Measure A. Next up is Executive Committee update, or Executive Director update, sorry.
Oh, City Manager?
Wait.
I'm happy to.
Oh, sorry.
Over to,
I moved forward
City
too quickly.
Manager.
City Managers Association update, Mr. Kerr.
Yes, I'd like to, we just met yesterday. I want to thank the City of Morgan Hill who hosted our Leadership Academy graduation today at their Community and Cultural Center, which is beautiful. I hadn't been there. Thank you for having us. That was very nice. Graduated, I think it was 43 staff through the Academy. Had our regular meeting yesterday and got some of the presentations from those folks, and so appreciate it. I want to take a second to, some of you may not know that I've been with Sunnyvale for 30 years, but I've only been the city manager for a year. And so I immediately inherited being the liaison to this group. And I'll be handing that off to Matt Morley, the city manager of Saratoga, who's in the back there, for the next year. But I wanted to thank everyone for being so kind and supportive and getting to know you all. And you won't be getting rid of me that easily because we did just sign the fiscal agent agreement, and I'll be back in January to do a budget update for you. So, although despite my staff's valiant efforts, we still can't get our tech working quite right. So we'll be back for that too. So thank you so much. And Matt will give you the City Managers Association update next time.
Thank you, Tim. Any questions? Any comments? Any member of the public wishing to speak? Thank you. We'll move on to the Executive Director update.
So like 2 people have stolen my thunder tonight. I was going to announce that we signed the fiscal agent agement with Sunnyvale. No, that's okay. We signed it with Sunnyvale. I'm very excited to work with Sunnyvale. We're meeting with them tomorrow to start the process of transitioning some of our accounts over for them to do the bookkeeping. It's gonna be good. And I've been working on the holiday party. Those are the two big things.
Thank you. And all the other, and getting out a 100-page packet.
279.
Any questions? Any comments from the public? Questions from the public? Close public comment. Move to joys and challenges. Wow. Any joys and challenges? Other than we'll finish right at 9 o'clock. Yes.
So we've been getting a lot of complaints about airplane, the jets, the noise. And I recall way back, City Association used to have a round table. So can you touch on that in our next meeting tomorrow?
We can talk about what happened with the roundtable and all that.
Complaints, just they choose the flights, so.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you about that offline, and it's a much bigger item from an agenda standpoint. But let me talk to you about that outline and let the new president decide. Any other joys and challenges?
So challenges, we continue to have challenges with housing in South County with evictions, so it's a great challenge for us. And joys, I wasn't able to get representative from South County today, but Matt Morley, Saratoga City Manager, is born and raised in Gilroy.
There you go. Fantastic. Okay. Seeing no one else, we will adjourn the meeting at 9 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you. Hey, nice job, Larry.
Great job.
We do. We need to figure that out. We'll get to that.